We're starting here, guys, and we're up. All rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. If you guys are expecting to speak, if you guys could sign in for us, that'd be great. We'll go ahead and open the public hearing for curbside trash and recycling. We received 2 bids, one from Washler and one from Republic. There is a condensed version of said, of both bids. They're both over here if anybody wants to see the full version of them. Washler came in for the combined trash and recycling, $20.16, year 1. Year 2, $20.76. Year 3, $21.59. Respectively, Republic came in at $17.41. Year 2, $18.28, and $19.19 for year 3. The hearing being open, does anybody have any public comment or questions or anything? No? Right now. Not hearing anything, we'll move to close the hearing.
Are you talking about it after you close it, or?
Oh, you want to talk about it? Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Well, I mean,
We have the vote down here.
We have the vote
Oh.
for the conversation. This is just a public hearing portion.
oh, okay,
So, yeah,
my bad.
Okay.
we're fine. All right. So we'll move on to the approval of the agenda tonight.
Make a motion to approve the agenda with some flexibility.
I'll second.
Got a motion on the floor and a second to approve the agenda with some flexibility. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Approval of the minutes for May 7th. I did read through them and I did not see any corrections.
I did read them too, and I think they read fine. So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as distributed and read.
There was one little thing in there that I had talked to Jan about, there was a small segment in there about the $797,000 that was unaccounted for by Cedar Creek Township. Is that the same minutes I'm talking about, or was it the minutes before?
That was the minutes
That was
before.
the minutes before.
I made sure to include those dollar amounts that we talked about in the last meeting in this one.
And, okay, and
It's on the
then,
second page at the top.
all right, very good, and then I just want to make it understood that amount of money was explained to us that it's unaccounted for and they do not know where it's at. Thank you.
I got a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same. Motion carries unanimously. Clerk Treasurer's report.
We talked about it briefly before all of you guys came in today, but I don't think, Greg, you were in here yet. You all should have received an email from the federal investigator from the SBOA from Nicole Brown. Please complete that email quickly and get it back to her. We're charged $968 a day until it's done. Vouchers were passed around in the amount of $72,299.79. Everybody signed already?
Thank you, because I was gonna ask you about that. I didn't know what the validity on that was, so,
It was a federal audit from
Okay.
today.
very good, thank you.
And we just found out yesterday morning.
I just got the email today.
2:30.
Feels
Well,
like 2 o'clock.
she literally, we got an email yesterday about it and said, when can you be here? And it just so happened that my schedule worked out that we could get it done today, so.
How long does it take to do it?
Like
5 minutes.
5
2
minutes, yeah.
Maybe 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, literally just hit reply and
Okay.
answer the 3 questions.
Okay, good.
So, so I got the vouchers, $72,299.79. Is there anybody? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion of $72,299.79. We approve the vouchers.
Second.
Got a motion on the floor and a second by Greg. I'll do roll call vote, or sorry, any further discussion? Not hearing none, I'll do roll call vote. Greg?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Motion carries unanimously. Old unfinished business, resolution, before us we have resolution 2024-08 curbside trash and recycling. At this point, Scott, what's your, you said you had some questions?
Yeah, I was just looking at the difference. Seems to be, it adds up over time there. I didn't know if these gentlemen would like to talk to us about your service. I would appreciate that, each company. So we got 2 for 1 and 1 for 1. So whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, gotcha. Evening, everybody. Been here before, but the new general manager for public services here in the Fort Wayne area market, Brian Easley. So good to meet y'all. As you've seen in our bid, we have been servicing you all for a while now. Previously had a set contract, currently have a contract with you all, unable to extend, but have a proposal, hopefully in order to extend services, both trash and recycle options based on whatever you all would wish. Trash would be pretty straightforward, seeing as we already currently have the waste collection. It wouldn't be any change other than price, and then there also was, based on RFP, request to provide both billing residents directly, which we currently do, and then also billing the town and having them in town work out the residents. So that is also an option in case there is a desire to switch how it currently is done. And then the same if we wanted to add recycle to that as well. We currently service 398 in Leo Cedarville town limits recycle. So if the vote is to add recycle, we'd be able to deploy the additional 850 or so recycle carts to residents that week before July. That first week of July would be the first week of service. So we would deploy all those carts that week prior so that they would all have that for their first week of pickup for recycle, just to kind of add that detail there. But open to any additional questions. We've enjoyed the partnership. I'm glad I was able to meet you all a few months ago. I'm glad to be here now, and I'll take any questions that you all have.
Real quick, based on what you said, so 17-0 or 1741 number,
Yep.
that is required recycling and trash for both for a house, or can they opt out of the recycling? How does that work?
Yeah, so that would be required recycle for that, and then we would, again, those differences bill directly to the town would be the 1709, and then bill directly to the resident would be the 1741.
Okay, and then the other service above that is residential solid waste weekly collection service. That's where they can opt to have the recycling. They're not required, right? And
Correct, yeah, and then the recycle, it would remain how they currently do it right now. So we do provide a discount for the Cedarville residents if they do want recycle. So if we would just maintain the current waste, then they would still be able to call in and get that discounted recycle rate.
Just out of curiosity, have you seen an increase in ask for recycling since that's closed over there?
Not so far as much as residents, more from, obviously, Allen County has interest in trying to find another location for it. And then we have seen just a slight uptick at the downtown recycle center, but it's just kind of a hike from Leo to downtown, but small increase since that's gone away, but overall not much
It's
other.
like comparing apples to apples. That one.
Okay, so that I did not.
Oh, which is,
that's apples to apples. So I guess the question before us is, do we, first of all, does anybody else have any questions, more questions for him? If not, we'll give
Okay, sounds
the
good.
Washler guys a chance to speak to what they have.
I'm Jeff Washler, Washler Garbage Recycling. Both companies here are going to do a job. We're doing not near the size that they are, but we're we're doing 30,000 stops a week. Absorbing Leo, Cedarville into our system is gonna be a piece of cake. It's gonna come down to your cost and overall service. We're both gonna get trash picked up. June the 10th, we're going live with a system that I think is gonna be really cool for the towns that we service. We'll have a porthole to get into our system, and you'll be able to see where that truck has been through the day. If the driver took any pictures of customers not out, your personnel will have those pictures available to them almost instantly that the driver takes it. It's gonna be a pretty cool feature for towns to see what's going through there. Should make serving customers and answering those calls that come in very easy to do. Our service, I'm not quite sure I understood what he was talking about on the recycling. Ours is only for the people that utilize the recycling. A lot of towns, you're forced to pay the recycling whether you recycle or not. I talked to Tenna a few days before the bid. She expressed you guys wanted it for just the people using the service, so that's the way we quoted it. If everybody were being billed for it, it could obviously be a lot cheaper. We should be billing people that weren't using the service. Any questions for me?
Yeah, did you just say that on your bid that we're getting the bid with the regular waste service plus the recycle service at the same time?
No.
Did I understand that? Or?
No.
No, it's
Okay.
at the opt-in
Thank
period.
you.
If they opt in
Thank
for
you.
the recycling, they will pay.
That's what I was
If they
wondering.
don't
Okay.
opt in for recycling, they will not pay for recycling.
Well, the reason I asked, because the very first time that I was on council, that was misunderstood. I want to make sure I heard it right. Thank you.
And that's whether we bill the resident or whether we bill the town.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think so.
And just for clarification for Republic, that's how the 1741's still what we're doing, opt-in,
No,
opt-out.
this number here is the opt-in number, right? So it's the
No, well, I mean, right now,
This up here is billing the town instead of, this whole section here is if we.
so right here is we're comparing the same, right?
no.
That's how I
Sorry
understand
if I can
Yeah,
Come on
step
up.
up here.
clarify.
Yep.
Yeah, step
Yep.
up here.
Yeah.
I'm
So
confused.
here,
Yeah.
step right up here.
Yeah,
So
no
I want to make
worries.
sure. So this one here is the opt-in, right? So
Yeah,
this
that
is-
would be trash only.
Billed to the
and then
resident.
Billed to the resident, and then, so this would be just status quo.
Okay.
They would still call in, get the discounted recycle rate that they currently
So
get.
this right here is-
And then this would be billed directly to the resident, and then this would just be the recycle and trash built in together.
together,
Yep.
forced. Okay.
Yeah.
So the bottom bid for Republic, which is what we see
Yeah,
here, is the forced recycling. If you look at the actual Exhibit A in your packet, $13.95 would be year one, $14.65 and $15.38, and their washers $14.57, $15 and $15.60. That's for a 3-year contract, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I just didn't know he's got 3, which is fine. I just want to make sure
Yeah,
I'm looking at
yeah.
the right ones.
Yep, so $13.95 is what Republic's at for year one.
yeah, and I
$14.65.
just didn't catch that this bottom wasn't an opt-in like it is.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. So washer's an opt-in and that's an opt-in option as well. Okay. Just so you guys are aware, because obviously our attorneys aren't present tonight. If you guys read through this sheet, it says basically our cans and cannot do's and whys and why not. So just want to make sure you guys had read through the residential findings. So
Well, I'm driving down the road today, minding my own business. Behind a truck, a Republican truck, and it's flying out and smacking my Jeep. All through the front. You guys are looking good over there. Just saying.
So, in terms of serving the resident, consider price, convenience, transition, and disruption. The statute says, in addition, the evaluation proposal based on price, council may, in a manner consistent with provisions set forth requested for proposal, evaluate the proposal based on several different factors. So if we choose not to accept the low bid, then we have to follow through with other evaluations.
Tyler, can you clarify something for me?
Yes.
The bottom, which is what Ted and hands out to everybody.
Yes.
The 1741, this is the required recycling, right?
Yes,
Trash
but
and required recycling.
Washington did not bid it that way,
Right, so if this is trash only,
and then you can opt into recycling.
what's the cost of the recycling to opt in? That's my question.
Yeah, that would be how it currently is right
But
now.
what is the cost to recycle?
What is
It's $8 a cart per resident within the town limits,
Okay.
and that's per month. So that's how it's currently.
And I think that you bill it
Which is
quarterly.
discounted to the current, yeah, it's $24 per
Yeah,
quarter. Which is
that's how I
discounted
think.
for our open market rate right now.
I'd like to see recycle every week, trash every other. Just me. I have no kids.
I think that changes the thought process.
It does.
That's-
What's that?
I said that changes it.
Oh, yeah, that's why I was so
Change it
confused
into
over here.
21.95, is that right?
What's 21.95?
If somebody accepts
If you
both.
add, if it's opt-in,
add.
then it's $8 plus the
Yeah,
$13.95. That's on this extra bid sheet that's in the full bid sheet. in your packet.
$21.95,
And this one's 2016? No? So this one.
yeah.
So 21 versus 2016.
I'm hearing correctly, this is
Almost 22.
required, so the bill would be 17.
So, has anybody had any complaints over trash getting picked up? I mean, Greg? Tana?
The only complaint we've had the year I've been here is 4 houses over in Pioneer Village that occasionally, they're like in a dead end, and they occasionally get missed, because I think the truck has to pull in and back out, and once or twice in this past year, they told me once, but said it happened once other, that they got skipped, but they called and they got picked up. That was the only complaint, and that's just a fluke.
Washington dropped the trash cans pretty hard a few times. I got a new guy, but, you know.
Yeah,
and
mine's broke.
And he's not very friendly,
And then it flies out of my vehicle, I'm just saying.
other than that.
I have had, but with that, since we closed the recycling center,
But he hasn't hit my vehicle.
Oh,
I've taken quite a few calls about people asking how to sign up for recycling now that they can't drop off. And I'm still getting those calls.
yeah, and I don't think that's
So-
got nothing to do with them, that's got everything to do with everything that happened, as you well know.
Yeah,
Has you guys had any personal bad experience or anything, or? Angela, your opinion counts.
It's trash.
It's
I
gone.
agree, I wish recycling was every week.
Right?
Right. I've always had a good experience with the staff that supports the drivers from Republic. I was kind of joking, but I'm not really joking. The guy's not very friendly. I wave at him every morning, every Thursday. I know that he doesn't like that.
Well, the guy that launched off of my vehicle honked the horn, I was like, he waves. I was like,
Yeah,
well,
well, it's-
that's whatever, at least he's nice.
yeah,
Must not have been the same guy.
yeah.
How's it going, man?
Hey, welcome. But no,
So, I guess the question is, do we evaluate on trash cost only? Because first of all, are we gonna require everybody to get recycling? I don't think so.
Well,
Step
I mean,
one.
and I think Jeff hit it on the head. They're both gonna do a good job.
Right, right.
I'm
So
sure-
then if you don't, then we only can evaluate based on the cost of trash.
well, the way that what I was talking about earlier about the first trash bid that we negotiated when I was my first year there, and it was only like $1. It was like $1 difference, and we pulled all of Republic out of here, and we brought in a new trash company, and then we ended up finding out that the actual other bins were more expensive, so it ended up being, because Republic had bid it. Republic bid it with the pickup, with the separation, and then the other entity didn't. So when it turned up, they were like $8 or $9 more expensive a month. People were mad. So I don't think we should force people to recycle, but we need to make sure that we have this completely cleared up for the people that don't want it and what we're doing. So that's why I asked what I asked earlier.
Is everybody in agreement that it's, no matter who, it's recycle only if they want? I don't think,
I mean, looking at the cost, I mean, cheaper if you made recycling part of it.
It is,
Am I
because,
seeing that right?
because the people who don't use recycling are gonna pay for it, so they're offsetting their costs by every stop, not,
I'm just going by,
Right.
also by online chatter of the recycling. It's been quite active.
again,
Yeah, still, yeah,
today,
It doesn't stop.
yeah.
yeah.
well, so I guess like a better terms, forcing them or making it, part of it, you think that would fix this problem of chatter? Or what are you thinking
No.
there? I don't think there's any fix to change with people.
No, because they're gonna have the other half of it, or the
People
other
like-
third, or they don't complain, oh,
That we raise their bill for recycling,
Yeah.
and they don't recycle.
yeah.
So,
Well, and then there's the people, like several that we've heard from in Lionsgate that have nowhere to put the bins.
bins,
So,
People like two things in life. They like it, they don't like how it is, and they don't like change. Those are the two things they don't like.
so, alright,
So what are you thinking, that we should do the recycling? Is that what
No,
you're saying?
no, I don't-
I'm talking to him.
He's talking to me.
no, sorry, I thought you were pointing at me, I was like,
That's, from a price standpoint, yeah, I mean,
Like, if you choose to be recycle, the nearly 400 residents who've been choosing it would actually get a deal over what they're having now.
And we have, what is it, 1,200 residents, roughly?
1250, I think that's what the quote was on it. 1250 homes.
1,250.
but the problem is those who aren't, I think we're gonna create a bigger issue.
I get what you're saying. I use it, I like it.
I'm willing to pay a couple extra dollars
So
at the end of the
am I,
day, just to
but
have recycling.
The
That's just
question
way I
is,
am.
what's right for our community? And that's a tough question. I think we'd probably pick up a few hundred more out of it, but I don't think we would even get to 70%.
No,
But I've been wrong. What do you think, Andy?
I wouldn't want to force people to recycle or take a can, in my opinion.
so then do you go, I guess the next question becomes, do you do off of trash only? Or we make our decision off the cost of trash only, is that what you're?
That's what I would do.
Well, that and reliability is very important.
Yeah.
That's probably, in my opinion, more important than money,
I agree.
because you don't pick up someone's trash when they're supposed to.
Somebody gets an email.
That'll be Tina and one of those guys.
So, all right. So we've got a resolution 2024-08 ahead of us, or on the table here. Based off of cost alone, it's Republic. Yep.
So I'll make a motion.
Hold on a second, we gotta do the findings. Well, I can fill this out, there we go, you're fine.
I'll make a motion that we approve Republic to continue to give us reliable service at the $13.95 the first year and escalates as described in recycling at the $8 a month. Optional.
So, in this resolution, just so you guys are clear, whereas the town of Cedarville by its town council has adopted the ordinance, town that permits the town to contract with a third party for collection of residential solid waste within the town. The town pursuant of Indiana Code 36-9-30-5.3 publishes a request for proposal, weekly curbside trash pickup, which required any third party interested in contracting with the town for collection of residential waste to submit a proposal no later than May 17th, 2024 at noon, which I can say both of those guys did that. The council has reviewed the proposals and conducted a public hearing with respect. With respect to the proposals, therefore the council resolves as follows, and this is where we gotta fill it in. So you're saying Republic, you're making a motion to adopt 2024 as Republic, correct?
That's correct?
I'd second that.
And Andy seconds that. So therefore this will read, Republic submitted a timely proposal in response to the town's request for proposal. Republic is a responsible proposer. The proposal submitted by Republic has the lowest cost of all responsible proposers. The proposal submitted by Republic meets the town's needs because they're responsible, reliable, and the lowest cost, and offer recycling. It is in the public's interest to award the weekly residential curbside trash contract to Republic. The proposed contract submitted by Republic and attached here too as Exhibit A is approved, and the council hereby authorizes myself, the president, to execute the contract on behalf of the town. So just so you guys are clear what the resolution will read, is there any further discussion? Not hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Greg?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Andy? Brian?
Aye.
Tyler is an aye. Motion passes unanimously. Republic is awarded the contract. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Thank you all for
Yeah,
coming.
thank you guys for coming.
I guess one last question for you. The first billing or something, since we're still getting tons of calls on how to sign up for recycling with you guys, is there some kind of flyer or something you can put in with that, or?
Yeah, we can put something together and send it to you. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Do you have a
Put
business
it in
card?
their billing.
It'd keep her phone from ringing a little bit.
I'll send her my contact info, she can distribute it to you all.
Thank you.
Sure.
So, appreciate it all.
Thank you.
All right. We'll move on to the Holiday Lights, State Road 1.
So in your packet, I put together the quotes we assembled. It took quite a while because we had to get AEP and VOTOC to communicate. We attempted to get bids on putting outlets on the poles to bring them down further along State Road 1 this direction from downtown. And so they quoted, as we had 10 projected out when we approved the 10 snowflake lights, we had 10 poles reviewed for adding outlets. VOTOG gave us the only quote we received. Other companies actually stood us up, literally, out in the street. And then I&M has to come back in after the outlets are installed and connect them to the power on the poles. So that's where these two quotes come in. It's essentially $31.95 for VOTOG to use a bucket truck and materials and the electrician to install the outlets, but then of course they're permanent. We don't have any outlets on those poles. And then $1,731.54 for AEP to connect the power. And that would bring the entire budget of installing the outlets and power to $84,7404.
Can we build a sewer department? I think so.
How much was it again?
It's right here, it is $84,04.
And where's
Jeez, Pete.
that funds coming from?
We had that as capital general capital.
Angela?
Town capital.
Oh,
There's 10,000 in that fund, if I remember right.
so.
And I have not ordered the lights waiting on the office, because
Right.
that would have been pointless.
So that is 35 and then 49 and additional
And then, yeah, the snowflakes were
1700.
35.
35 for the lights, 49.26 for the power outlets, and then we'd have to pay an additional 17.31 to AEP, correct?
Yeah.
So,
What does that number come out to be?
well, probably about 13 grand. Right.
84 and 17.
4, 5.
So in that, I think it was a February meeting, we actually asked for the lights and the tree was approved, and the lights were, the motion was
I
made,
have it right here.
yeah, to use my 5,000 limit, but we've surpassed it with this electric.
So it'd be 10,205 for everything?
Yes.
Or did you already had the approval for the lights via your 5 grand?
So that's why I'm only asking for the power,
But-
some of them.
That has to be accounted back to somewhere, right? With the 5 grand, it would go back to the capital, right?
Right, like, all of it was coming out of capital.
So the
we're
total
still
price-
gonna be over the capital.
Yeah, right now we're 205.58 over the capital, right? Is that what I?
Yeah, and I think
So
initially
what
we were gonna
about-
take this from like seated or one of the funds that had
So,
banners and
let's
signage.
back up to February here. Lost me.
She has the minutes for that.
Okay, well, that's all
Meeting
right.
minutes, Ms. Waker presented for approval the purchase of additional holiday lights for holiday season at the end of the year. Purchase would include the 10 more snowflakes and one 15-foot lighted metal frame tree for the downtown. Mr. Peck stated he would like to see snowflakes extended down the road to the Legion and BP area. There was a general consensus that Ms. Waker use her purchasing limit to purchase what would be needed to get as many snowflakes as possible and the tree.
So how much did you spend of that?
None.
Okay,
None.
She hasn't
that's
bought
what I was
But-
confused on. I thought we already spent, and now another 10, I'm like, whew.
No, but we still gotta go back, that appropriation, her spending limit could have been spent, but it has to go back to a line item. And the line item we were gonna charge it all to only has 10 grand in, is that
Yeah.
correct?
Okay.
So
We're 205.58 short.
to get all of our Christmas land goodies and the electric all done, it's the 10,000.
205.58.
Okay. I'm a little slow and it's been a rough day.
Which we don't need to approve the snowflake portion of it, we just need to approve that it's all going back to that capital. Well, we don't have to approve that, we just gotta figure out where the extra 205.58, or we're cutting the snowflake.
Well, I think the barber shop's got it.
Well, there's a couple of appropriations that said things like banners and signage that we didn't.
Do we have another home for it? Have you guys discussed another home?
Home Depot.
Briefly, but not just.
205.58.
I possibly got a new client coming in, so I can afford it.
Me too. We'll split it.
You just wanna make sure we have the right line item.
I got it.
I don't wanna
I
go over
like
budget,
it.
have to
I
reappropriate.
want to look nice down there.
I do too.
Seems awful.
I don't have a
expensive.
problem with spending the money, I just wanna make sure that we are clear on the funding.
We have nothing in
Who's
banners.
doing electrical work between you two?
I haven't had good experience with it.
Me neither.
Sorry, lost my fund report.
Jumper cables hurt.
We'll put Brad in the bucket. So realistically, I mean, she didn't have to sit here and figure this out right now.
No.
We can approve the electrical because that's what's gonna be a pain.
Yes,
Buying ornaments is gonna be the easy part.
part,
But we don't wanna drag our feet on it because
no.
it's at the end of May already and that means
Let's
it's gonna be here before we know it.
Let's approve it, if we wanna do this, I guess we, like you said, we can move the electrical through, get it done, and then come back next meeting and figure out where the rest of the funding is
Well,
coming from.
I mean,
Or-
yeah, you got.
Technically, she has it within her own power, so we can max out that fund and figure out where the other 205's coming from, I guess, too, either way. No. We are looking for 4926 plus 173120.
847404.
That's not the right number.
He said no.
You
Well,
need-
that's just the
you need-
power stuff.
No, that's the lights. You need the power outlets, 492654,
And then, oh, I see.
and then the
AP.
17, the AP, 173154.
Okay, yeah, because we had approved that, but anyway. You had approved that before, but that's okay. I get it, adding it back in.
So we need 49.6.54.
6,658.
Oh, I showed that the wrong numbers.
6,658, what?
Oh, wait.
08 is what it's gonna cost to put electrical in those poles. No matter what we do, we gotta put electrical in the poles, right? So if we're gonna move the electrical, I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve 6,058.08.
Nope.
6,000.
Did I write it wrong?
6658.
Yeah, 6658.
Oh, you gotta start speaking up.
08.
6,658.08
5808.
for our outlets to be connected on our poles.
Hang on,
You got it.
got an extra pill for you.
Oh, that's what I did.
Got a motion on the floor?
I'd second that.
I got a second to spend 6,658.08. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Greg?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well.
I'd
Motion carries.
like to see us take a recess until this bill takes effect.
Yeah. Agreement for email with the Indiana Office of Technology. We mentioned this briefly last month, our last meeting. For everybody to have an email account that needs 11 accounts, it's $4 a month per account. So $48 per account times 11 is $528 a year. That we need to spend, basically all of us would have email accounts, and then obviously the employees. So, and then
I don't want another email.
you don't not want another email from what I've read. So where would that money come from? Do we, just in the professional services or where?
Professional services or software agreements, either one, but it'll be something we'll want to budget for every year, so we're gonna want to create an appropriation for it at budget time this year.
Okay. As soon as this is done, we can, Don will enter the information and we should have email accounts shortly thereafter.
Kind of a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says 11 accounts at $4 an account per month.
Yes.
It
Which
just
is
says that's $48 a month, shouldn't it be 44? My math correct?
Well, $4, it's written weird. So he's saying it's $4 per month per account, so 4 times 12 is 48.
Oh, it says 11 accounts, so that's where I was coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a $4 per month per user billed annually. So that's $48 a year times 11 accounts. Or it's $44 times 12.
Okay.
Just depends on which way you roll your math, right?
I ain't have no part of it.
So, yes. So it's $44 times 11 or 12 or 11 counts, $48. The way it's written. So it's $528 is what it comes
All
out
right,
to.
520 a year.
So, in this way, we don't delete emails, right?
I like that.
Any further discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
It's nice outside.
I'll make a motion that we enter an agreement with Indiana Office of Technology for the prescribed amount.
I second that.
Andy seconds that. We got a motion on the floor, a second. Any further discussion? Do a roll call vote. Greg?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Motion carries. Fire district, I don't have an update other than what we talked about last week. I know that, I haven't reached out to Nick Jordan to figure out exactly what's going on, and I need to do that over the next couple of days. Greg, do you have you heard anything else besides?
Only thing I know is that we're coming to the $797,000 and that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna bring it up again, but we're coming to the end of, we're coming up into June where the time prescribed by the state Board of Accounts has to be closure, and those line items have to be completely zeroed. So, I mean,
Well, if Nick's working with him, that's the good news.
okay,
That's like, I mean, Nick's a good guy, you know that.
yes,
But I don't know anything else. I know the fire department's, I'm not sure, I mean, I can't imagine they got money to finish the month of June.
they do, they're setting okay. They don't have the money right now, because Nick's been sending them some money, but they don't have the money right now to pay off the loan.
Right,
So-
which the loan comes in,
That's this fall,
that's fall, right?
this fall,
It's like
October.
October, November.
Yes. So, you know, I've still gotten some things that I'm working on, that I'm just waiting to find out how far they are over here before I proceed with that,
Okay.
so.
No other business on that. New business. Before us, we have resolution 2024-06, which is just, speaking of fire district actually, 06, which is surplus equipment. So we own two pieces of equipment over there. An F-350 Super Duty grass rig and an F-450 ambulance that we just
The one we just purchased.
the one we just purchased. So those have got to be moved off our books before the deadline. So resolution 2024-06, the town council met a duly called and authorized meeting. The town of Cedarville owns the items identified in the attached exhibit, which are those two vehicles. The Indiana Code 52222 permits the town to dispose of surplus vehicles. Now therefore be it resolved that the town council is hereby authorized and empowered as the purchasing agent for the township to take all action necessary to dispose of equipment pursuant and provisions of Indiana Code 522-22. So we gotta pass this resolution, and then there's another resolution, 2024-07, that comes up that transfers those over to the district. The district will have to sign a
Resolution receiving that.
the same resolution receiving.
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2024-06, which gives the titles over to the district.
I
A
second.
resolution of the town council, the town of
Surplus.
Lucas, for the surplus, yeah.
Yes, it's removing of surplus equipment. Yep, one at a time. So 2024-06, who seconded that?
I'll make,
second.
look, you got it, okay.
Okay. So I've got a motion on the floor and a second to approve resolution 2024-06. Any further discussion? Do roll call vote. Greg?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
And I myself as an aye. Motion carries. So then before us is 2024-07, which transfers that property, the surplus property, to the district.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve resolution 2024-07, which is a resolution of the town of Cedarville County to hand over the 2009 F-350 Super Duty and the 2022 F-450 Super Duty.
Got a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Brian seconds. Any further discussion? Roll call vote again. Greg?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
And myself as an aye. Motion carries. Don't leave before you guys sign these two resolutions. She has. All right, town pump storage and maintenance barn / land use. I don't have much on this. I don't know.
I put it on there.
Okay.
So the current Graybill Fire Station, station number 1,
Okay.
is storing a old town pump there that serves no purpose to the fire department, other than it's been used in the past for funerals, parades, that type of deal. And it's taking up space. They can't get another apparatus in. They've been looking for 2 years or maybe longer, because you've dealt with that even.
Grable was supposed to be finding a spot, but they didn't.
That's been going on for a long time, as you well know. And our town maintenance building currently has vacant spots. I see Brent's not here. I did talk to him briefly, just said, would this be a major inconvenience, a hassle, or anything that would affect day-to-day operations, because we don't want to do that. Our town and our citizens are number one. And he said no. So I was looking at maybe putting it up there for the time being so they can pull another apparatus in there, because they have a small pump and an ambulance sitting outside at Harlan because they have no place to put them, just sitting there.
So is
It's
this
kind
thing,
of sad.
does this thing get used? Or
So
is it an antique?
it's an antique, for sure, yes. This is an antique. That's-
Yeah,
I
it
should've
used to
started
have
with that.
it used to have to stay inside the town limits of Graybill back in the day. It was something to do with their TIF district or something like that, and that since apparently went by the wayside. So when the TIF was really originally set up, it had to stay within the town limits, but.
So is it a piece of equipment that gets used?
No,
No.
it's a 19.
It's functional.
It is functional, but it's like a 1930.
It gets used for an occasional parade
46.
or, so if a firefighter
FM's.
passes, we transport the body on top of it. So that's what it gets
Santa
used.
Claus and
Well, the
parades and oranges.
And right now, I think it needs some brake work. They talked
It's
about
needed for a number of years.
Andy doing it.
So. I mean, are we looking for consensus? If Brent doesn't have a problem with it, then I don't have a
I have
problem.
one question.
Yeah.
Has anybody contacted the heads of state over there and talked to them about it and asked them if they mind?
State.
Where?
So that's not, I was told, our concern. If there's a place, they will handle it, and if they
Okay.
won't allow it, then it doesn't happen. I'm not looking to go to other meetings and stick my nose in something.
Gotcha. Just a
Yeah.
thought, because
Well, they
it's
don't
the
wanna-
town's, it's
yeah.
the town's truck.
It is the town pump, and they wanted to keep it in the town for different reasons, but it's literally, yeah.
So we need a motion. I don't know that obviously it's better to do it under a motion, but can we do it under consensus as far as I'm
I
concerned?
would say a consensus.
It's fine. I don't have a problem with it. Just speak now. And does anybody here have a problem with it?
Consensus.
And then if it becomes a problem, then obviously we need to know, and our people and our staff are more important.
Right, yep. I think we have consensus that it's fine to move there as long as it's good with Brent.
Yeah, he's fine with it. I talked to him too.
Okay. All right. Let them know to figure it out.
And then the land use, that was more of a side conversation with Andy. That was more his idea, but I thought it made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So you can speak or.
Well, I've just had a lot of questions. I know we want to put money into that barn, and sometimes I question that if it's actually the right place for it or not. I know we want to talk about doing drains. And then the other land use, and, I think of the center that we want to try to create here, and maybe that might be a better location for it than,
Honestly.
yeah, than Hostler Road. I don't know, but just curious how we got to where we're at with the maintenance barn, why it's there, and, with the land in the shape it's at on Hostler Road, if anybody else had opinions of maybe where,
So our,
Hustler or Hampstead?
so our brief conversation was,
or,
instead
I'm
of,
sorry, Amstead.
instead of maybe putting the fire department over there because of the land and the way it's structured and it's gonna need pylons and all that, would it make sense to put it over on the hill, let them use the barn, put a new maintenance building over there that we would be full functioning because it wouldn't be as heavy and require as much. It's just briefly what we talked about to open up conversation up here.
And it's kind of hidden there. you know, on Amstead's Road, maybe not such an eyesore. Across from the park, if we were gonna do a civic center of any type, might be, I think, up on the hill, a great place. Great parking for events, you know, overflow from the park.
I guess it was just brainstorming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that there's been some talk with Derek about it, that the maintenance barn would be able to float on that property, whereas in actual,
Piers.
yeah, you don't have to do the piers and all that other stuff. You can do it on a spread footer and be fine.
And his thought was, before we go start insulating electrical and
Right.
running sewer,
Drains.
before we go dump, you know, $200,000 in a building, would be better off to build a new building since sewer's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure sewer would be free there.
Probably water too.
Yeah, water too. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I missed that.
Just the thought, you know, long term, didn't know how we got where we're at with the maintenance barn and,
Yeah.
you know, when it was put there, if
Yeah, clearly we're,
Amstead's Road was out of the,
Well, originally, it was discussed that the maintenance barn could possibly be there, and then there was more talk about it, and then it was like, do we really wanna put the maintenance barn in the middle of the city where we're gonna be, you know, like right there in the neighborhood, or do we want it more out of the way where it's at now, for aesthetic reasons? You know, that was the reason it got put up there. And that's why we grew that area over there. And obviously, we haven't, you know, we haven't grown. There's a piece of property that I think we should probably be looking at in the near future, that would connect that. So, that hill up there, which would make a huge difference in how we, you know, move forward in the next 10 years. So. That's my short answer. I can't answer for everything else that's happened up there.
sure.
And, I mean, the building was built because, I mean, our stuff was just sitting outside.
That area was deteriorating,
It was literally just,
you know, vandalism,
Yeah,
deteriorating.
so we needed a building, so it did work, but now, is that what we want to continue? And
Long term.
yeah,
well, I think the deciding factor for me is the fact that that land that we own over off Amstutz is to do anything of any substantial construction, is gonna cost us now exponentially greater than we anticipated. And, after talking to the engineers, probably in the future it's gonna cost us because there's a chance that the parking lot's gonna sink over time. We're gonna be repaving it, and
If it's not done right.
I mean, the way that it's, you know, yes, there's a
Right.
chance. I don't think the building's gonna sink because you're gonna have to do that on piers, but
Right.
the parking lot's gonna go down.
Well,
so is the whole property, I know a lot of it is like that,
Yeah.
but if you come off of the addition off the
Yeah,
area,
James.
yeah, if you come off that road,
That is better, and that's where we'd have to build anything we build substantially. We'd have to go back in.
well, and to me then
And then we
that's,
did do soil borings back in that.
You're right.
They were kind of spaced out so you could see, and it was a little better back there, but just a tiny bit.
so would our best interest from your background and whoever else, obviously, to put a maintenance building there, done right, and reallocate that building over there, because how much are we gonna have, what size is that building? 60 by 80?
60 by 80, I think.
Robin, do you know what size that building is up there?
60 by 80 sounds right.
Probably 60 by 80. I don't know, remember.
60 by 80.
Okay. So what's, you know, for us to construct another 60 by 80 over here with sewer closer
All right.
and do it right the first time?
And water closer.
Yeah.
And
I mean, what's it gonna cost us to run sewer up that hill?
I talked to Derek about that. Where the restrooms are now, Riverside Garden, there's a 13-foot manhole right there. I don't know what your plans are, but the main extension would be get another manhole over there, and then you could add one or two more, then
run it across the street, we wanna make sure we have multiple hookups, I
Yeah.
think. There's no other way to do this, let's plan for the future.
Permitted, that would be Derek, that'd have to be, go to the board, capacity allocation filled out, permitted through IM, engineered, and then whatever you guys are planning on.
So what you're telling me, it's $400,000.
No.
I mean, it's 100, we're not holding it to it.
Yeah, we're not holding you to the number.
2,000, probably.
So 150, we plan, always
Yeah.
plan on the works.
Yeah,
So, I mean, and then to hook up a barn over there,
6-inch main.
We're close, I'm closer if I can get into Apple Acres some way, depending on where you guys put your barn.
well, we talked about coming right off James there, so, I mean,
I don't know how deep that is for sure.
It's pretty deep. It is at my house at least.
Right, we used to dump into your house and go that
Oh,
way.
yeah.
That's deeper probably than James. That'd probably be better bet, yeah.
So, like I said, I think it's worth investigating before we drop $50,000 or $100,000 in that barn over the next couple of years. Is it worth investigating this?
well, just insulation is what, was that 40?
Yeah,
So, before we insulate it,
yeah, we're at $200,000 with sewer and insulation.
yeah. And we haven't even put a bathroom in,
No.
or done any other work. I mean, we'll be 250, 275 in that, just to make it what we want.
So,
And it doesn't even have it's not even cement inside, right?
no,
It's cemented
It's
inside,
not- Okay,
just no drains.
Yeah.
it has to be cut up for
nothing.
drainage, all
yeah,
that.
that's right,
Yeah.
never mind.
So, I think it's worth at least putting numbers to and figuring it out, in my opinion. I mean,
And just because you put, if you would wanna do that, I mean, what would your plans be for that building over there then?
Storage.
for now. Until if we're gonna do any kind, I think what you're saying is any kind of community center or anything like that
Right,
would be on top of that hill, so that building would eventually come down to house that kind of stuff.
Or,
Not house it, that would come down or be used as part of that maintenance facility over there, depending on what we have going on for a community center or whatever.
maybe even a small fire department out of that building.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not our cost at that point.
yeah. And, I mean, these are ideas, right?
Yeah, we're shooting ideas around at this
Yeah,
point.
we need to get some rough figures to see,
If it's worth.
because we got rough figures, and that's what made Andy
Right.
think, wait a minute, if that land over there would work good for that, and we
Right.
could repurpose that or use it for something else, you
Can
know?
that barn be relocated, like dismantled and rebuilt?
Yeah, you can, but there's a lot of cost in that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, you almost.
It's gonna be cheaper to build a new one.
Or the same price, and at that point, why tear it down?
Right.
You know, we can put a couple of basketball hoops in there, and call it a community center.
See, just throwing ideas out.
Yeah.
$400,000 community center,
So,
Is that what we have in that?
370 something, 380 something, yeah, when they kept adding concrete and adding this and adding that, yep.
I gotta get a
I
different
thought that was
business.
100,000 for that.
Originally,
Was
it was
it?
supposed to be 170 was what it was originally supposed to be. By the time we ran all the electrics up there and all the other stuff, the well and all that.
I know.
Well, then they started coming up with, well, we need 6 inches of concrete, we need this, we need that.
And didn't put a drain in. I know.
like I said, I know it's a lot of investment over there, but at the same point, I think we need to make sure we're positioning. We own property that, in my opinion, to put a community center on is gonna cost us, $500,000 more. At that point, does it make sense to utilize that property for the community center if we go that direction? If that becomes the end result of this envision plan and move the barn
Well, and
over.
if our people really want a community center, I mean, it's really no joke, that could be connected, pickleball, basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
And then have the restrooms right there, right beside it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we gotta tear it down and throw it away.
No,
I mean, that can be reused for stuff like that,
Yeah.
where kids can go.
Sure.
You know, we gotta figure out what our people want first.
yeah, you build a building right next to it, put a connecting
Right,
hallway
yeah.
and utilize it for whatever.
There you go. You
But I
know,
think we need to plan well, and I don't know that building a community center for $500,000 more. makes
Yeah,
sense.
and when's that questionnaire will be, July, right?
Yeah, so the steering committee, which we'll hit on that, I think, in hers, but yeah, the
So-
steering committee is being set today, actually, so.
So then, maybe time we get some rough quotes,
Yep.
find out what our people want, and we can make an educated decision.
Decision, so, thank you for bringing that up, Andy. Town manager's report.
I'll just hit a few highlights. On the Cedar Creek Trail, we met today with school leaders after reviewing the televising that was done last week. We discovered that the field tile is taking a lot of water and moving it, but it is partially collapsed and smashed, so it's like oval inside instead of round. So we met with school leaders. They gave us permission to replace a section of that tile, connect it to other drains they have that run across their property, and so we can move forward with that project. We are still operating within the contingency that they had allowed for some overages, and I'm sure that it will be recalculated, and I will get hard numbers before they proceed with the new tile.
On that tile, are they replacing it, or I think there's a thing they can put in, blow it up, and then makes it strong?
This is an old plasticky like field tile.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So they're gonna replace it with the PVC lines and connect it and be more solid. So everybody seems to believe that's going to work fine as long as we use that same, like this, we're staying in the easement under the trails where all this work is gonna take place. So that's moving forward. We are having some issues with the trail with relocating fiber along Hostler Road. And they are negotiating that, but it is holding us up a little bit on that part of the project. Amsterd's Road, there's a special meeting tomorrow to discuss the utility relocations and their schedule and how some of them aren't on schedule. And so you did see AEP though is outside working, and that's a really good sign because there's a lot depending on AEP, including some relocations of utilities with their poles. So that meeting is tomorrow at 10. A Zoom link was sent out to you who are interested in attending those, and hopefully we'll have some answers tomorrow on that. The comp plan, the update on that was the steering committee is being assembled. We should have our first meeting the last week of May, and that's being decided now based on people's availability, what time that would be. There's 15 people
Yes.
who, from the community and stakeholders who have signed up
Good.
to do that. And then, there was something else you just said, it made me trigger. Oh, the email I sent you from Lionsgate Neighborhood Association. This was simply that they wanted two things: targeted enforcement for speed limits and golf cart usage, because a lot of children are driving golf carts in there and people are worried. So the targeted enforcement began immediately with our resource officer, and he's been adding that to his list. But they asked for stop bars or crosswalk markings at all the four-way stops. The thing is, if we jump in and do that for that HOA, I could see the other HOAs asking, and which is not a bad thing, but it suddenly becomes very expensive. And in MVH funds, we have $6,300 set aside for town road striping, and usually we hire somebody like last year who did like main roads, fixing those markings. We could buy our own equipment, Brent was saying, for like $2,000 and paint ourselves these things like crosswalks, and putting on our guys. They feel like they could do it, but it would be a whole lot more to maintain, more to add.
I think my personal opinion is, I agree, it's be a big cost, and it'd be nice to have it all over. If that's something we want to do, maybe line item it for next year, not,
I'm surprised we don't have stop bars
Well-
at least stop bars in these communities. I don't know, what does ADA require crosswalk wise? I don't know if they require a crosswalk and an indication.
Not in a subdivision like that, more in your public crossings, like you see them downtown and
Right.
in these major areas, but
I didn't know if they required them in any
it's
crosswalks.
not a bad idea.
No, it's not, 100% not,
Yeah.
but you're looking at probably a $30,000 bill to
Yeah.
stripe all this.
And maybe,
Yeah, so we don't have it in our budget, that's why I mentioned we don't really have enough if we had to do a whole lot more than, I mean, has been set aside for the main roads, like painting them.
Well, then because for a stop bar, you gotta have like, is it 60 feet of delineation between as you approach the stop bar too to be legal, I think is what it.
I don't even.
And there's
I don't
some,
know the rules on
there's
that.
some code somewhere I remember reading about that. You gotta have 2 foot of separation and then you can have your crosswalk, I think, or something like that.
And since we hear about speeding absolutely everywhere in town,
What,
every neighborhood, downtown,
what, is their thought process with the stop bar and crosswalks, obviously just to bring attention to the
people don't stop in there
so
very often.
what would happen if we went through and bought do we have the whirligigs on there, on those stop signs? You know what I'm talking about? The
I don't
ones,
spend things
yeah.
going.
the ones that light up, or
Yeah,
you can
that's
get
what
the
it is.
LEDs that go around
I
and
lived there, I had to
flash.
stop.
I don't wanna do the LEDs around them, that they don't last long enough, but I didn't know, like, if you
Yellow
put the
spinners?
yellow spinners on top or the whatever, if that helps.
They know they're there.
I
It's
know.
an addition. I lived at the one stop sign that Fred's with, I
Right.
can't remember the name of it.
Uh,
But they would come up, they would slow down. Now, every once in a while, a kid wouldn't, but
Right.
I would say 9.5 out of 10 times they'd roll stop it. And you put a bar out, it ain't gonna, or twirly things.
Yeah. I'm with Ted. I mean, I wouldn't want to try to maintain that in every addition
Yeah,
in town, personally, but
I agree, and they're still gonna go through
there,
it. I mean, the people stop if they want.
yeah.
I mean, I think the targeted enforcement should, by putting an officer back into there regularly, I think that's probably gonna be a better, and then
That'll change everything.
Yeah.
for a
we
while.
did receive an email, Angela just got it tonight,
Yeah,
from Andrew, that, is it next week, is it beginning of June, first week of June?
yeah, we should be starting next week. There's 4 officers that are gonna break up the hours a week.
Right.
So they gotta get in with Angela to fill out their paperwork and start hitting it next week. So if we get Andrew to pass the problem spots on to them.
Which I think he is, I mean, I think that's the
think
intent,
so, yeah,
so, alright,
And I mean,
but right now our targeted times are rush hour morning and rush hour evening.
Yeah.
You know, if this is happening in the afternoon,
well,
Yeah,
I think for the next
That's a good.
2.5 hours is when the golf cart problem is after supper,
Yeah.
kids are out.
you know,
That's
And-
gonna change next week.
Well,
Yeah.
they need our town policies or ordinances are 16. They have to have insurance, and then ATVs need to have the off-road vehicle.
Have we put that in
And
the paper lately?
16 too.
and I was gonna say, is there a way to get that back out to the community, cause,
The golf cart rules,
yeah,
basically.
ordinance. If we could send the ordinance back out, I think that would help somehow,
Sign, our park sign,
go ahead.
Yes.
I was thinking at one time that the ordinance even said that you had to have lights and turn signals.
You do,
Well, UTVs, right? Or is that
I
on
think
everything?
golf carts, I think everything's supposed to
I
go
think-
to.
I think-
Well,
It's got the triangles, aren't they?
I did at one point, I don't
A
know if it's.
motorcycle doesn't have to have turn lights. You can do the arm. So we gotta be careful with that.
I just think that's the way it was written.
I think
It
that's the
might
way
have
the
been.
original ordinance was written,
Might have been,
yes.
but, I have them on mine. They're cheap.
But I think once we get those other officers on board, and I'm assuming that as we hit the summer months, they're gonna hit rush hour. But at the same point, if we notice an off time where maybe we can get them to slip around a little bit if they're available.
I think at first it'd be a lot of education.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get that out into the paper,
Yeah,
or the Courier, sorry,
I can send that out tomorrow, it'll be next week.
Okay.
in time for summer.
Yeah,
and maybe,
so to answer your question, I think what you've heard tonight, a consensus that we're not painting stop arms and crosswalks at least this year. If we want to do it, we need to make sure that we apply a uniform policy across our town. And that means we need to get a quotes, and it'll have to be in next year's budget cycle. So That's what I gathered out of everybody's conversation tonight. Okay.
But we will be increasing enforcement.
Yes, we are
I will
increasing
note
enforcement.
that.
Yep, note that to them, but yes.
How can we put that, can we put those rules like that on that sign, would that all fit or not?
Well, I'm thinking if they have an HOA, we need to send them out to the HOA heads and let them disseminate them to their residents. That what the ticketing is gonna be done, and that, not only do it there, but we can do it on sign too.
I think the better we get it out,
And I,
the less calls.
in my opinion, the sign needs to be simple things.
It has to be.
Golf cart, remember, golf cart, no underage drivers or whatever, Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like, or check the carrier for the rules.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Check the website.
Check the
website.
website, yeah.
Yes. Golf cart rules, please,
Yeah.
check the website.
Or if there's an odd rule in there that they must have turn signals, hey, golf carts must have turn signals, follow up on the website, or something like that.
Hey, Tenna, Leo Grable happenings.
Everybody's
looks at
on that
that.
stupid
That'd
thing.
be awesome.
They love to comment.
All right. Hey, you have anything else, Tina? Okay. Any miscellaneous business from up here?
I just have one thing. I don't know if Robin, if you'd give us an update on the oil thing from last week. Everything kosher, good now?
Yeah, everything's good. Basically, it blew a fuse, and we had that issue before. We had an electrician look at it, and we're in the process of getting it fixed. But anyway, it blew a fuse, and then that shut off the high pressure pumps, and basically the system that's supposed to auto dial and let someone know didn't go that morning. So we didn't get the call till we got some calls from a couple residents personally. So then we went over there. Pressure went down to 26 pound PSI, which by regulation, you don't have to put out a boil of water, I believe, till it's 20. It was 26, we put it out anyway. So as far as any issues, as far as safety, there shouldn't have been any. So, but pretty quick, we got pressure back. As soon as we found out, we were able to make that work. And we're still working on some issues with it. It's working properly, but we are going to rewire and do some upgrades of it in here too. But everything, commercial electricians came in and fixed the problem. We were able to keep it going with fuses, but they're fixing the issue. So anyway,
In your alert system, do you guys get that squared away then?
I don't know if it's completed yet, but we're working on it.
Just wanted to avoid the Huntertown problems.
All right. Any other miscellaneous business from up here? Public comment? Anybody have anything? Brad?
So, this week, our engineering went to A&Z, our surveying on Hostler Road went to A&Z. That's to extend gravity sewer down Hostler Road. We sent a letter out 2 months ago to notify the people that there'd be some surveyors in their yard marking their wells and septic. I don't know which side of the road it's gonna be on. I'm guessing probably the worst side.
North
I
side,
I
right?
apologize.
Please.
We applied for the money, we got the money, and you guys started. I mean, it's just like.
So they're gonna be, we're on the
South.
we're on the south side and you guys are going on, you don't know, wherever it says?
South side, I'm sure.
Probably the worst side.
Yeah.
Probably the south side.
So you're gonna fix our trail for us right after that?
Yeah, we'll have to fix everything, we'll have to fix it all.
And relay the fiber that's being relayed.
Yeah.
Fire too.
I like it.
So it's gonna be 8-inch gravity.
So how far are you going down Hostler? Or
All the way down to the curb.
to the curb, around the curb?
Around maybe a house or two up, back to Cedar Crest Edition. All those homes in Cedar Crest Edition have compromised septic systems.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people have, there are some lots, which I of course don't care about this, lots that have failed tests, but then with gravity sewer running by, it's a good lot then.
Yeah.
Would be 62 people we would give septic relief to, and along that path, I'm sure there'll be some people that will say, hey, I have an extra acre I'd like to pick up, my daughter's son building or
I'm sure, yeah, and, I mean, it's just good for the community,
Yeah,
so.
so that, the first thing, and then the second thing is June 3rd. Yeah, they're gonna be moving into the Grable laydown area with my 8-inch pipe with the city of Fort Wayne. So S&S will be boring my sewer line, will be done before the end of June, because you guys are having the Freedom Festival. So that's our goal, so that's where we're gonna be starting for a stage there. We'll weld the pipe, pull it probably along the yard, there where that area is, that grassy area. And we'll set up on Leo Auto Sales side, the more into the river, grab all the pipe and pull it through. And that way I'll be done being on the side of the bridge. So when you guys start your bridge project, be anywhere around here.
Not our bridge project, the county's bridge project.
Okay.
Don't bring that in this house.
Yeah, no, no.
I'm gonna be out of the way.
Yeah.
Do yours down and get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
Yeah, I have easement, Fort Wayne, and easement from Clay, so I'm out of the right of way, so nobody will be near any of my sewer pipes.
That's pending right now, so.
All right,
Yes.
so, any other public comment? Before we adjourn, just, next regular meeting is Tuesday, June 4th at 5 PM. The park board's the 10th at 5, and then planning commission the 10th at 6, and BZA is the 10th at 7. Stormwater meets on the 12th. If there's nothing else, we'll adjourn.
Stormwater should meet the 10th, everybody else.
Else does. We're adjourned.